Noise complaint, my first ever car, has been sitting here untouched for 6 months, and in this video, I'm gonna fix that. Not only that, but I'm gonna turn it into the autocross legend that I've always dreamed of. It's gonna be badass, so let's get to work. Noise complaint is nasty. Look at that. Oh wow. I have not touched this car in a really long time. Ever since I put the 9-inch rear in it, I parked it, never even broke the rear end. It's just been sitting here. I bet you can fire right up though. I might need to charge that battery a little longer. Doubling down. All right, it's gonna start. Come on, baby, wake up! Just like that, she's alive, idling. Listen to that thing. Somebody want to record this and make it my ringtone? Feels so good to listen to that smell block again. Last time this was on the lift, I was installing a Curry 9-inch rear package, which is mostly done, so it's time to turn this thing into an autocross beast. I say that knowing it's already got a CPP Pro Touring suspension package, which makes it handle incredibly well, especially because I have 19-inch wheels, 4-wheel disc brakes, and fairly wide tires. This thing does tear up the back road, but I'm gonna make it cooler, and I'm also gonna make it stop better. Stopping is what we're gonna focus on first. So I'm gonna put this thing up on the lift, and we're gonna take apart the front end and put massive disc brakes on it. Before we get to work, let me give you a brief rundown on the car if you're new to the channel. Noise complaint is my first car. I bought it when I was 13 and have built the entire thing from the ground up. It's powered by a 5-liter roller motor, a 306 with aluminum heads and a B-cam. It's got a Tremec TR3550 5-speed manual. It's got a custom valve exhaust system with both mufflers and straight pipes, and now it's got a Curry 9-inch rear. It also has other goodies I've mentioned, like the CPP suspension, 4-wheel disc brakes. It's got a whole painless wiring harness. It's got a bunch of good stuff, and it's basically perfect in every driving scenario. But we're about to make it perfecter. Check it out in there. This is by far my cleanest Mustang. I've replaced the frame rails, I replaced this, I replaced that, I replaced this, that, I replaced everything on this car. I've been driving the car for the entire time I've had it with these 1968 Mustang brakes. I think they're 10 or 11 inch, they're pretty small. And they have Bendix brake calipers, which are super annoying if you look at this up close. You have to mess with these clips, which are incredibly terrible to get the pads out. It generally just sucks, but I'm going bigger, and I'm also gonna change the spindles, so I believe I can get away with unbolting the spindle and the brake hose and removing the entire assembly, and I could use it on another Mustang another time. I replaced all the brake lines and hoses on this car a long time ago, so I'm pretty confident they're not gonna break when I remove them, but who knows? I hate cotter pins. Removing cotter pins sucks. It's like one of my least favorite things about suspension work is stupid old cotter pins. There it is. Sometimes those bad boys are stuck. Sway bars gonna be disconnected. Just like that, brake assembly's off. Ooh, almost knocked my own teeth out right there. That was genuinely close to knocking my own teeth out. I have a lot of boxes, and I don't remember what all of them hold. Ooh, this is gonna be awesome. I bought all these parts a long time ago and have just been sitting on them, and they're gonna make this car so badass. I have unboxed everything and I'm officially very excited because I think I actually bought all that I need. All of this is gonna use 65 to 68 Mustang drum brake spindles and hubs. So I have a lot of parts that I removed from 8-ball and I'm gonna use those. Let me show you what I bought though. 6-piston Brembo calipers off of a 2015 Mustang. 15-inch slotted brake rotors off of a 2015 Mustang Performance Pack. I also have ceramic brake pads. I have tons of hardware, and all of this is gonna happen with a Mustang Steve disc brake conversion that utilizes the old Mustang parts and the new Mustang parts together. So basically, I'm putting 2015 Mustang 15-inch brakes on noise complaint. It's gonna be awesome. So let's just get to installing it. And to let you know, I've never done brakes on a new Mustang, so I don't really know how they go together. And I'm gonna be flying by the seat of my pants the whole time, because I've never done one of these conversions before. But basically, you use the 65 Mustang hub, you bolt on the Mustang Steve adapter, and then you use the 65 hub, and then you put everything together on it pretty much, and you figure it out as you go. This is the drum brake and hub assembly off of 8-ball. For demonstration purposes, I was showing you those bare spindles that I had upstairs, but I'm gonna need these and I'm gonna have to gut multiple parts from them. Right now, I'm just trying to remove the lower control arms off of these spindles, and they have been on here forever, it looks like, and it's not gonna be fun to get them off. I spoke too soon. That was actually incredibly easy. Adios. Oh, these brake drums are wet. Oh, 8-ball. Why do you do this to me? First thing I'm gonna do is remove the brake drums. The bearings out. Look at that. That's pretty gross. It appears this drum is a bit stuck. Awesome. Oh, this sucks. There we go. Oh my god. We've now separated the stupid brake drums from the stupid drum assemblies. Next thing I have to do is press the hub out of the brake drum. Come on, baby. Pop out of there for me. Oh, damn. That's not moving. That's not moving at all. Declan just had the genius idea, maybe we try to press down on the wheel studs using a wheel spacer, which I will offset away from the holes. Attempt 3. Let's see how this works, if at all. Push it straight down on the wheel studs. I don't like that. I'm putting 60,000 pounds on this. Oh yeah, that's it. 60,000 pounds is not doing it. That's a scary reality. Let's try some fire. It's cracking right there. Okay, let's undo this. That's crazy. Did you see the whole thing like go back into shape?
Dude, it was like this.
Yeah.
It's concave.
I don't like this game very much. Oh my god, dude. That's bad. That's 60,000 pounds pushing down on that. Okay, well, I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do to separate these. If they're even separable at all. It doesn't really seem like it. The press doesn't work, so now I shall try method 2.
damage!
That bad boy is stuck. I believe the problem is these have been mated for 60 years. Out of curiosity and silliness, I took the other brake drum and just tapped it lightly 3 times with the hammer. And this one, 60,000 pounds of force won't remove it. Now, I should be able to remove the spindle just like this, and that is what we need. Now I shall take the ugly, yucky spindle. I shall ignore my very worn out ball joints, and I shall install. Okay, spindles installed on this side. Feeling pretty good. I grease those up a bit because the boots are blown out, but they're still pretty tight and they're only like 5 years old, so whatever. Got scared because I ran into a roadblock here. As you can see, the 67 tie rod end did not fit into the 65 spindle, but I remembered those spindles that I first showed you when I was going over the parts were off of this car when it had drum brakes. So this is a 67 drum spindle. As you can see, the mounting bolts are the same, but the tie rod is correct. Perfect. So now all I gotta do is put the 67 drum spindles on the car. 67 drum spindle going back on. Check me out. Now, steering tie rod fits. I do think it's pretty funny that I'm putting noise complaints drum brake spindles back on. These were actually the first thing I ever tackled on any car in my life on my own. I remember doing a disc brake conversion on noise complaint like 100% on my own. I had never really turned a wrench on a car before, and I was 14. And I messed so many things up, but thankfully, I didn't mess up these spindles. Because lo and behold, 10 years later, almost, I need them. Next up, I take one Mustang Steve brake bracket. I'm actually really excited about this. This is pretty cool. I think putting 2015 Mustang parts on a 67 Mustang is really, really cool. Perfectly over tightened. Adapter bracket for the calipers. Having to massage the bolts a little bit. That is a tight fit. I'm not mad at it. By the way, I'm not sponsored by Mustang Steve at all. I bought this on my own free will, and I fully recommend that you may too. That's tight. I do think it's also a little bit funny that I'm gonna be using like stock dust covers from the drum brakes on the 2015 Brembos, but that's all hot rod. You wouldn't understand it, buddy. Next up, I have got that drum hub that we so magically removed. Come on now. I really hope that the nut thread between the 65s and the 67s is the same. Hope I didn't gum these up also when I was 14. In fact, it does look like that is the case. It's actually fine. It is going on all right. Feeling good, feeling tight. We've got the ugly ass, beat ass dust cover off of 8-ball, which will be hidden by 15-inch Brembos. I've gotten this as clean as I basically can with brake clean. Next up, I will take the brake rotor centering ring that was included in the kit. That is gonna fit a little bit tight around the sort of grody spindle here. Got that surface sanded up. This is sliding on a lot easier. But it's still press fit, which is probably good. The time has come to fit up the gigantic 15-inch rotor. I'm gonna use a washer and a lug nut on 2 of the lug studs just to hold it in place while I test fit everything. That's pretty awesome, dude. I need to Google it to make sure I'm not screwing anything up, but I'm kind of assembling the brake calipers right now. No idea if I'm doing it right. Definitely missing one part, these. I gotta Google and see how they go in there, because I'm dumb. Hold on. Maybe if I took all of 10 seconds to like look this up, I'd be able to figure it out. All right, my dumbass figured that out. That was actually very simple. Thanks, Google. Slide in, boy. Sweet. One tap of the hammer. Installed. Look at that behemoth right there. Noise complaint. You have some very, very big brakes right now, Mr. Noise Complaint. Out of curiosity, I really want to see if my wheel will clear this and how much clearance it will have, because my plan is to take those wheels off and change it up. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's badass. Dude, no more puny brakes on this thing anymore. I just gotta pause and take that in before I keep working. That's dope. That is, as the kids say, badass. Oh, I don't wanna look anymore. I just wanna look at it. Noise complaint just sums me up as a person and a mechanic so well. See, we have 15-inch Brembo brakes with 6-piston calipers mounted to 1965 drum brake spindles. We have such a clean undercarriage with a rust-free frame, but my fender's held in with a self-tapper and 2 nuts in between it. We have a tubular front suspension, but the ball joint boots are blown out. Could this car be any more Tom's Refurb? I don't think so. You didn't grease the sliders, Tom. Tom, you didn't grease the sliders. Cameraman actually was the one that just pointed out that I forgot to grease the sliders. And I'm not really greasing them properly because it's already together. But maybe it'll work. Well, it's a new day, and I started off so hopeful that I was gonna be able to bang out the passenger side super quick. I had cameraman run to AutoZone and pick up my brake drum, which I was just positive would include a hub for some reason. And of course, it does not. I do not have another hub, and as you remember, we tried 60,000 pounds plus hammers and could not remove the hub from the other drum. So, do you hear how the car's not running? That's because it has a blown head gasket and there's no battery in it. But it's gonna save the day. Would you look at that? Another front brake drum. Look at this. Interesting. Will I be lucky? No. Let's try the press on this stupid brake drum. Come on, blueberry parts. Do me good. Damn. Why do I not have luck with this? Giving up on this drum, but thankfully there's one more to try. Is this one magical? Nope. Guess I need to buy a hub. Well, we're back, and it's been literally 5 days since we filmed anything on this car, and that has been because of these 2 parts. Part number 1, you remember me trying to separate the hubs from the drums? I couldn't do it. 3 different old hub drum assemblies could not separate until my good friend Mike Schaefer, who owns Schaefer's Restorations, was magically doing a disc swap on his 65 Fastback, and he had the old hub already separated, so I picked that up from him, and we'll be able to use it on the passenger side. Issue 2, possibly the dumbest and most frustrating issue of all. This brake line fitting that connects the hard line to the soft line. This 2015 Mustang soft line uses an M10 by 1.5 brake fitting thread. That thread is impossible to find anywhere at all. So finally, I did. I found it online, and these are actually thread adapters. So I'll be able to use my standard thread here and adapt it to go right into the 2015 Mustang soft line. These took forever to find and forever to receive, which is why we haven't filmed in 5 days on this car, but with these parts in mind, we can finally get back to work. And that's not all. I had a little change of heart and visited cjponyparts.com and decided I should probably replace the upper ball joints, and I also got new boots for the lower ball joints. So you don't have to call me a hack. I'm fixing things right. Let's get to work. And this day is already off to a terrible start because that brake fitting that I just mentioned, the one that allowed me to utilize the one already on the line, is wrong. It's a bubble end and it will not properly mate to the thread in here. But I did think ahead, and I have this normal fitting that's M10 by 1.5 that will thread in here. I just have to actually swap the fitting on the line, which I didn't really want to do, but it's technically the right way to do it. So thankfully, I bought both options. Now let's get to work. First thing I'm tackling is upper ball joints. Again, the ball joint itself is tight and pretty much fine, but the boots are blown out. So I'm gonna replace the uppers, and I couldn't find lowers, so I'm just gonna replace the boots on them. One more grunt, upper ball joint good. The lower ball joint has this metal keeper on it to help prevent the boot from coming off, and the old destroyed boot can be out of the way. New boot in place, keeper in place. I'll take this, thanks Declan. No problem. Back up we go. Sway bar back on. Before I get the lines figured out on the other side, I'm gonna assemble this side, starting with the ball joints and ball joint boots. Ball joint out. Ball joint in. Perfect. Now photo spindle, pop, pop. Lower ball joint tight. Same treatment on the upper. Upper is tight. Counter pins. 1, 2. Get that nice and greased up. Getting this side too before I forget. Now I can get the Mustang Steve bracketry assembled for this side. That's never coming loose. I'm getting my shaft nice and lubed. And I have one new wheel bearing. I was gonna replace all the wheel bearings, and I bought them, but I realized the wheel bearings are Chinese wheel bearings, and the ones already in the hubs are Timken American bearings, I think. So anyways, I'm gonna rock with the used bearings in all the hubs, except for this one aftermarket bearing that will be going on the outer side of the passenger hub. Maybe I should replace them all with brand new ones, but hey, sometimes the old stuff is the good stuff. There it is. Boom, boom. The hub is assembled, and to continue the theme, I'll be putting the old grease cap on it. I actually bought new grease caps, but I kind of like the vibe of the old nasty one underneath the Brembos. Let me install this incorrectly. Brake rotor, centering ring. Installed. 15-inch brake rotor, number 2, is on. Oh, shit. You mind pressing that flush? Oh wow, that makes it astronomically easier. Now let's do some cross threading. Ow. Pinched my finger on that. Ow! Now I've got this soft line bolted to the caliper, and the issue is I can't quite install it the way it should go into the factory hole like this, because obviously it aims at the sky and the old line is not, and that routing is meant for the new Mustang that it came off of, and I want this line facing backwards. So what I think is going to be the easiest course of action is to put a spacer behind it to aim it backwards and bolt it to the frame in its stock location. That also puts the least amount of stress on the line, and in order to do that, I was looking for potential spacers, and I found this Mopar, I think, accessory spacer off of something. I have no idea where it came from, but it looks like 2 perfectly sized bolt spacers that I just need to cut to modify. And I'll have 2 spacers that should work flawlessly. One spacer there. Boom! Just gotta clean these up and toss them on. Good enough for me. After scouring the scrap bin, I've found some carburetor spacer studs, and I believe they will thread into the factory holes. Yep, just like that. And then we can slide on our random Mopar spacer, and then our brake hose right here. Oh yeah. Just need a lock washer. Lock washer on, nut in place. Now obviously I don't have the little lock in there, but if I get that tight, it should keep it from moving. And the hard line being bolted to it will help. I'm not really worried about it. All this is meant to do is hold the soft line in one place. Yep, this plan is working nicely. That is tight in there. There's no way that's moving. And we have perfect clearance of the sway bar. Perfect clearance of the sway bar. Couldn't have planned that any better if I tried. Now the brake line should be pretty easy, because as you can see, I have this little intermediate line that I made back when I was like 14. So I'm just gonna cut the end off of it, put the M10 by 1.5 fitting on there, reflare it, and bend it to fit. Should be perfect. Currently reflaring that intermediate line with the correct fitting. So now we are left with this. Now I'm gonna screw it in to the 2015 Mustang brake line. And then this, I'm gonna have to put a slight bend in and stretch it out, but it should work. The intermediate line is installed. I really hope that it works because this brake line fitting did not grab as many threads as I would have liked, but we won't know how it is until we bleed it. Driver's side does not have an intermediate line, but I'm going to create one out of this piece of tubing that I think came off of a Silverado. Boom, boom. Using this awesome Eastwood brake flaring tool will change your life. Because just like that, in a matter of seconds, we have our intermediate line. Same protocol for this side. All right, let's hope that's tight. I'm gonna have cameraman hop in and step on the brakes a few times and see if we have any major leaks. All right. Oh no. My fears are coming true that my metric fittings are not the right fittings. They're not grabbing enough threads because of it. They have the bubble end, see that? The only 3/16 brake line M10 by 1.5 fittings do not appear to be working. I just tightened that one and then it loosened itself back up. Now, this one didn't do the same, so I'm gonna try to tighten it one more time. There's a chance I loosened it when spinning the other side, but still, this is a little stressful. Okay, that's pretty tight. I should probably tighten up the steering arm, shouldn't I? Before I forget and we die on a test drive. Brakes have bleeders on both sides, so the process is gonna take a really long time. Up, down, up, down. All right, pump them a bunch. There we go. Today is hopefully the last day of getting this car dialed in and back on the road. I'm currently in the bleeding phase. Last time we were working on this, we bled the front brakes a good bit. I think I just found a leak because the pedal does not feel exactly how I want it to. And I'm also going to adjust my proportioning valve. Now I have an inline proportioning valve from Willwood that I've had since I did the brakes in the car originally, and this controls the brake pressure going to the rear. Because I've made the front brakes so massive now, I'm going to crank up the pressure going to the rear brakes. We will adjust this on our test drive and we will be able to feel what feels good, and we'll do plenty of stopping and adjusting to dial it in, but I think because the front brakes are 15 inch and the rears are 11 inch, I'm gonna want a lot more pressure going to the rear so we don't just lock up the front brakes. That's maxed out. I'm gonna back it off, a hair off of maxed out, and then we'll keep bleeding. Well, after about 2 solid hours of bleeding, I think we finally figured it out. It was a gigantic pain in the neck, but now I'm ready to put the wheels on and see if it stops out on the road. My wheels look really ugly compared to my new brakes. Sweet. Now, the wheel currently doesn't want to spin by hand, but I'm hoping that that's just because they're brand new pads and brand new rotors and we need to drive it a little bit and break them in. It was a giant pain in the neck. We didn't film the bleeding process, but it sucked and I don't recommend it. But now we're gonna test it out and see if they work. I'm nervous. well. I'm gonna adjust my master cylinder brake pedal push rod because it's adjustable. I'm gonna shorten it a little bit just in case it's holding pressure in the front, but I'm not too sure what the problem is. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really understand like brake pressure and the systems. I know my master cylinder bore size is a 15/16. I looked it up and that should be fine, but who knows? Attempt 2, I adjusted the push rod a good bit. Move now. I'm gonna adjust my push rod back in just a little, and then we'll go for a ride and see what happens. Cameraman's now in the car, and we desperately need to go get fuel, so that will be our maiden brake voyage. Hopefully it doesn't break, but hopefully it does break, you know what I'm saying? Now they're dragging like ever so slightly, but not enough where it feels problematic. Again, I think they're both brand new and they both gotta get to know each other a little bit, but I might be wrong. Maybe there's a problem. I'm gonna do a couple regular like little break-in stops. Like you're supposed to do a sequence with new brakes. So I'm gonna make cameraman car sick right now by going and stopping a bunch. I can already tell it stops hard. I just did a couple like 10, 15 mile an hour stops. I'm gonna do a couple 30 mile an hour stops now. Out of gas. Of course. Of course. Of course it's out of gas. And of course it had to wait until we were away from the shop to run out. I mean, why wouldn't it run out of gas in front of the shop where we were 30 seconds ago, huh? Okay, well, I guess we're gonna go get some gas and we'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Dom, what?
You're an idiot.
Oh my God. Oh no, it didn't like my panic stop. I just managed to spill 93 all over my pants. I'm gonna stink all day. Our gas trucks suck, dude. Well, that was maybe 2 gallons. Do you think that's enough to get us to the gas station? Both jugs leak. This one is easier to use while it leaks. Okay. Oh, it held a charge for 10 minutes. Come on. Pick up that fuel. There it is. To the gas station we go. I missed that sound. All right, I want to do a couple like 30 mile an hour stops while we're on the way. Most definitely stopping. I want to jam on them. I'm excited. I think they're probably broken in. They were coasting. The car will still coast. That's a good sign. I'm gonna go a little faster now. Oh wow. Oh wow. Noise complaint stops. Ooh, I like that. I gotta dial the proportioning valve back a little bit because when I hit them hard the last time, I felt the back tires lock up at the end, so I'm gonna dial that back maybe half a turn, and we'll keep on testing. But I should probably go to the gas station before we run out again, so I will do that adjustment at the gas station. I feel like the fronts might be dragging a little bit still. I might go under and adjust my master cylinder a touch more, just to make sure it's not holding pressure. I don't know, it's not bad though. It's not like it's stopping the car. When I want to stop, it'll stop though.
Dialing the master cylinder push rod back a little bit more.
It's tricky. With this car, I have to adjust the master cylinder push rod in far enough that it holds like a slight amount of pressure and doesn't make the pedal go to the floor every time, but out enough that it doesn't make the brakes drag. It's kind of a tricky adjustment, but I just brought it in. All right, we'll hope that's good. Oh, those rears are locking up. Let me adjust it. Okay. Woo! That's feeling good, but it's still locked up. I'm gonna go a little bit more. All right, I've gone 2 turns out in total since we left the shop. Stops nice. It feels good. All right, let's see. Ready? Yeah, they're still locking up. Okay. Oh, wow. Wow. This thing is stopping. Whoa! Dude! Never in my life have I been excited about a car stopping. It's almost like I put 6-piston 15-inch brakes on the front. Holy sh**.
I've never been excited about brakes before, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
It sounds like a brand new car.
That's actually crazy. And these are manual brakes too, keep in mind. No power assist, no brake booster, nothing. Wow. Dude. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it other than it stops really, really good. Sorry for the camera quality drop. Our nice camera just overheated. But good news is the car's not overheating and the brakes don't seem to be either. So we're gonna keep on playing around with it. Alright, now it's basically locking up all fours. I think that's as close as we're gonna get. Doesn't that feel wild? Whoa. How's that feel from passenger? Because I can hold on to the steering wheel, but it's still, I feel like G-force.
Oh, dude, I am pushing with my legs as hard as possible.
I'd say it stops. Those big ass brakes on those dirty ass wheels, and look how dirty the car is. It's almost a record. Ew. Noise complaint.
myself, I don't know who to trust. Think I got my through the city, instead I got my feet down.
Oh, this thing stops great. Guys, that's all I'm gonna do in this video, but trust me, I've got some super awesome stuff planned very soon for this car. I'm gonna be doing some things that I've always wanted to do to it. It's basically gonna look like a completely different animal in a really, really good way. So stay tuned to the best damn automotive content on YouTube. Check out the Patreon if you wanna see another video every week. Check out tomsrefurb.shop because I just dropped new merch. And check out Speedy's equipment if you want some stainless steel mufflers. I love you guys. I hope you're as happy as I am to have my baby back, because this thing is awesome.